only difference between blues and gospel is, oh Lord, oh baby. That's the difference.
You get Ronnie Stewart talking about blues and he lights up.
The West Coast, a normal West Coast rhythm would be, and that's thanks to T-Bone Walker.
Let your hair down, baby, let's have a natural ball.
You get him talking about West Coast Oakland blues and he comes to life.
I mean, Texas blues, Delta blues, Mississippi, Chicago blues, and they seem to always leave out the West Coast, but our contribution to this whole cultural music phenomena is very important.
Ronnie is the executive director of the West Coast Blues Society. It's his mission to honor and preserve the legacy of the rich blues history made on West Oakland's 7th Street in the 1940s, 50s, and 60s. A culture so rich with businesses like Esther's Orbit Room and Slim Jenkins Supper Club that it earned Oakland the nickname Harlem of the West.
Paint the picture for me of 7th Street in West Oakland that earned it this title of Harlem West.
The 7th Street offered anything. You didn't have to go what we call downtown. It had clothing stores. It had, of course, all the eateries, all the clubs. It had the nightlife.
The nightlife on 7th Street was so illustrious, it regularly drew some of the biggest names in blues, jazz, and R&B.
Aretha Franklin, when her father would be doing revivals at the Oakland Auditorium, Aretha would sneak down and go and sing. She'd open up for B.B. King. She was a favorite there, and she honed a lot of her skills.
Despite the thriving businesses on 7th Street and its cultural significance, the music would eventually be silenced by a number of local and federal policies under the umbrella of urban renewal and neighborhood redevelopment.
These policies that were billed as help and aid for the folks that lived in these areas like West Oakland actually displaced them in other ways too.
Dr. Brandy Summers is an Oakland native and associate professor of geography at UC Berkeley.
It was in 1949 that West Oakland was deemed blighted.
This too is Oakland. Many of her dwellings look and are malignant, threatening the vitality of the entire community.
And so what that means is, well, the government can come in and just kind of take over and take away. The assumption is you just have to find another place to go.
Dr. Summers, who studies black cultural geography, points to a trifecta of public infrastructure projects that changed West Oakland forever. Starting in the mid-1950s with the construction of Cypress Freeway that forced hundreds of families to move and dozens of businesses to shutter.
Especially with the Cypress, which is now Mandela Parkway, you saw this division between the eastern part of West Oakland and the most west part of West Oakland. And it created also this divide along 7th Street as well. So you've broken up the true fabric of the neighborhood.
By the late 50s, the movement of Oakland's main post office to 7th Street forced businesses on the south side of the street to move, like Esther's Breakfast Club, which would eventually reopen across the street as Esther's Orbit Room. The project claimed 12 city blocks and forced more homeowners to sell their homes below market rate. The magnitude of the mass displacement captured by this unforgettable photo of a surplus World War II tank used to bulldoze homes.
So something like the 7th Street Post Office, I mean, it's huge, right? But the idea is this is an industrial corridor. There's opportunity.
Case in point.
Exactly. The belief is that there was greater good for the city and for the region than there was for the neighborhood.
By the 60s, construction of the Bay Area Rapid Transit System, BART, broke ground in Oakland. The massive 7th Street station that opened nearly a decade later dealt a final blow to the businesses on that block.
That was the death knell. What destroyed 7th Street was BART. We'd go in there and we'd play. When BART would go through everything, the glasses on the shelf was doing it. You think it's an earthquake, and that done it every 5 minutes, every 4 to 5 minutes when the BART going to San Francisco. Consequently, they went out of business.
What does it mean to you? How does it feel to have these here for people to come and see?
Well, again, this is the only one of its kind in the United States.
Ronnie is the driving force behind this walk of fame just outside of 7th Street BART, honoring the musicians, movers and shakers that put 7th Street on the map. It was unveiled by the city of Oakland in 2015 after decades of work to to get these installed and dedicated.
I know it's tough to even ask you this, but do you have a favorite as we walk down?
Yeah, actually, my favorite probably is the one with B.B. King. This is my second favorite. This is Big Mama Thornton.
Yeah.
You Ain't Nothing But a Hound Dog, you know. And then Edna James, Aretha Franklin, and the Pointer Sisters. You can't get no more heavier than that. Them are all females. Yeah.
As we stand here in the middle of West Oakland,
Right.
you don't see a ton of people stopping to take it in. And
Right,
read the names.
right. They walk past it and they don't know they're walking over history.
But if you stand here long enough, history might just walk up to you.
Do the huckabuck, do the huckabuck. If you don't know how to do it, boy, you're out of luck. Push your partner out, then you hunch your back. Start a little moving in your sacroiliac.
Tom Bowden, known as Terrible Tom back in the day, and the unofficial mayor of West Oakland, is one of the musicians who played on 7th Street.
I seen a lot of people come and go right here. Right here. It was a plan from the very beginning to destroy. They did it to Oklahoma. They sure can do it to Oakland.
Do you think we'll ever be able to get that back here in West Oakland?
I doubt it, to be honest. You know, it's just too little too late. You know, we can preserve, we can fight to, like Ronnie said, we can preserve a particular area.
And that's exactly what Ronnie and the West Coast Blues Society is hoping to do when the city of Oakland will honor 7th Street this June with a Legends on 7th Street festival in front of City Hall. It's important for Ronnie to see this through while some of these legends and even those local acts that aren't household names are still living.
What will that mean to you for Oakland to finally be honoring, recognizing 7th Street and those that played there?
It means a lot because I want people to say, oh, 7th Street, yes, it was unbelievable. And they got a Walk of Fame of all the people. And I didn't know that Al Green made his first West Coast appearance, and Ike and Tina Turner's first West Coast appearance was on 7th Street. So I want people to understand that this boarded up, you know, dilapidated area of West Oakland was a real mecca, a music mecca.
I'm Julian Glover, ABC 7 News.